Hello, Professor Steiner here again, and I want to talk about the importance of mastering your personal best techniques. Now, there are many techniques in the martial arts, obviously, many of which are not practical at all. So what I'm talking about now is culling from your study of the good techniques, those few that you do the best with. In American Combato, we have, among basic strikes, we've got more than 50 basic strikes that a student learns over the years studying basics, attacks, counterattacks. But there are only 16 core basic techniques or basic strikes or attacks. And of those, I encourage students to focus on the small percentage of them that they do best, that they feel most comfortable with, that they feel their bodies handle the best, manage the best, perform the best, where they get the most power and speed and coordination. Most people do not find every technique that they learn, however practical they are, and I'm talking only about our system, American Combato. Most people don't find every single technique as effective for themselves as every other technique. There are some students who do, but very few. Most find over time that a certain technique fits them better. When you find those techniques, for example, in basic blows, if you have an inclination to use the basic fingertip thrusts, extended fingers to the eyes, train on it constantly. Give yourself an assignment of doing 50 repetitions with each hand after you get up in the morning. Get one of those little Lone Ranger masks that kids used to buy in novelty stores. Hang it in a doorway and practice thrusting at the eyes of that Lone Ranger mask. Take a little cardboard tube from a roll of toilet paper, tape it to the bottom of that mask, and use it to develop chops to the throat. You're not going to hit the cardboard tube, but you'll develop accuracy if the chop and the eye attack are among your favorite blows. My point is, the more you practice your basic blows, the more proficient you will become, and the more compatible with you your repertoire of skills will be. Your body knows what it can do best. Just like some people are better suited to being basketball players, some people are more suited to baseball, some people are good hockey players, some people are better jockeys. Everybody's different. Your task in training is to find what fits you best. You get one or two techniques down that you do best, and you practice it until it's literally coming out of your ears, and you can do it without thinking, and those techniques will come to your aid in an emergency. You do need more techniques than just a couple, but my point is that over time in your study of combatives, of unarmed close combat, the wide variety of techniques you learn, a very small number compared to most traditional martial arts, but nevertheless a wide enough variety to cover virtually the needs or tastes or abilities of anyone, you're going to find some of those that fit you to a T. When you find them, practice them assiduously. If you do, they will be there when you need them. In addition to basic blows, you have combinations of techniques that you want to get down. By working hard on a few combinations, you do the same thing that a professional boxer does when his coach determines he should do a certain combination. Left jab, straight right, hook, uppercut. If that fits the boxer, his coach is going to have him do it in shadow boxing 1,000 times. And what's going to happen is when he gets in the ring, he's going to apply that combination because it's been wired into his motor nerves. He's committed it to motor memory. The technique has become his. He doesn't have to think about it. We have quite a variety of combinations that we teach. You can come up with your own combinations if you're not a student of our system. But you don't want to try in your development of combinations or basic blows for an encyclopedic mastery of every variation that's possible, even every good variation that's possible. Because while a technique A may be perfect for you, technique B is not that good, you're better off spending all of your time on technique A. And when you come up with a series of techniques that fit you beautifully, hammer those constantly, practice them. Practice them until they're coming out of your ears, because they will be committed to subconscious motor memory, and you will be able to draw upon them without thinking in a crisis. Again, the analogy I use is a boxer. Boxers train in shadow boxing constantly because they must develop those combinations. Once they develop them, they're automatically available in a boxing match. Once you develop the combinations of destructive techniques for self-defense, they will be available to you in a street situation. Counterattacks, reactions to surprise attacks. Now, Professor Bryans is doing a series, and you see the lessons he's giving, and you see he's introduced the sidekick chin jab and other combinations. Some of those will fit you to a T. You may favor one or two above the others. Those are the ones you want to focus on. Those are the ones you want to practice constantly. Remember, your attacker in a street situation or anywhere else doesn't know what you're able to do. So when you do it, you catch them completely off guard. When you catch somebody completely off guard with something you can do with lightning speed, perfect coordination, and maximum strength, there's very little chance you're not going to be 100% successful. Being able to defend yourself for real depends upon you being able to do a handful of techniques that work and that work best for you. Now, I have a complete course available for people who can't study with Professor Bryans or myself, available on DVD, and it's a good course. It covers 50 times more than a person is likely to need. But in going through this course, as I encourage students who work with the DVDs, select those movements over time that fit you best. In the beginning, you work on everything that's taught to you. You try to acquire a basic skill in everything. But after a while, you start to see, well, when somebody grabs me and tries to slam me against a wall, such and such comes more naturally to me than this or that. And once you see that, once you can feel, I can do this technique beautifully, you should hammer it home with constant repetitious drill until you can do it without thinking. And your body gets used to doing it. It has gone through the path of drilling and drilling and drilling so that the technique comes as second nature. Simplicity is very critical, as I mentioned in a previous presentation. All of our techniques in American Combato are simple enough to work under stress. They meet the Applegate standard, which I have discussed elsewhere and will discuss again. But you want to find your pet movements. You want to work on those techniques that your unique physiology and psychology, because psychology plays an important part in this. If you have a lot of confidence in a technique, you're going to apply it without restraint, you're going to practice it with enthusiasm, And that matters a great deal. You're going to find lots of techniques are okay if you're working with practical skills. But some of those techniques are perfect for you. Fit yourself to the techniques, fit the techniques to yourself. Work hard on them. In his classic Get Tough, or All In Fighting, W.E. Fairbairn mentioned how important it was just to learn 10 techniques from his book, Get Tough. That would be enough. Focus on that. You don't need a lot. In World War II, during the Second World War, when his system was taught to the OSS and SOE, in the second session of training, where the trainee had simply covered the chin jab smash, the hand axe chop, they call it the edge of the hand blow, low kick, just a few basic techniques. The instructors were encouraged to tell the students they've covered enough to deal with almost anyone if they'll attack and keep on attacking. Well, you'll be able to attack and keep on attacking, and you'll be able to handle things well if you focus on those techniques that suit you well, master them. Don't just practice them repetitively and mechanically. Think of all the contexts in which they can be applied. Think of all of the applications possible to you, and you'll see that you're very well able to defend yourself once you've got a basic hardcore repertoire of your best techniques thoroughly mastered. Thank you.